the continental organization has a huge potential. I mean, we as European Union, we went a long way when it comes to regional integration. And to the creation of what we call the European internal market, which also involves the free movement of people, capitals, and goods and services. And we see the potential of the regional and continental integration in Africa. So, of course, in order to steer this process, you need strong and credible institutions. Now, there has been a lot of progress, a lot of efforts, and a lot of also investments, including from the European Union, in order to sort of generate that kind of level of engagement at the EU level. Then President Kagame has been, let's say, tasked to chair a special sort of task force to look at possible institutional reform of the organization. And now it coincides with his chairmanship. So we hope that he will be able to push forward and move forward and speed up the implementation and the agreement on this reform agenda, which again is not only an African issue. I mean, it's also something that will impact on the relations that the African continent and the African Union will develop with the rest of the international community, and in our case with the European Union. As European Union, and I have also a very personal sort of experience into this process. Yeah. I've been even recently involved in the Head of States and Government AU-EU Summit, which has been once again an element into this partnership, and which also as an outcome document, very ambitious joint let's say activities that I hope that we will be able to deliver in the near future, and also for Rwanda to take advantage of this continent-to-continent partnership. But of course, once again, at this very moment, and what we really hope is that the continental organization will be, let's say, strengthened, and there is a strong political sort of buy-in of African member states, because I mean, once again, we know exactly the challenges. We're not saying it's an easy process. Also considering the number of member states of the African Union. So we appreciate the complexity of this process. At the same time, we are fully aware of the potential of this process. So our hope that this will see the light. Also the African, internal economic space. So we sincerely hope that this process will move forward. What we are doing at this very moment is to move away from that kind of old-style donor-recipient logic. So you mentioned the win-win partnership, and that's a strong political partnership. So this is what we are really aiming at this very moment. And I think that all the conditions are there in order for this partnership really to deliver in the interest of the African citizens, but also of the European citizens. There are a number of opportunities. I mean, trade is the stability, of course, the peace and security. I mean, stable Africa means something for Europe. Stable Europe means something for Africa. Cultural relations, dialogue among different cultures. I think there are endless opportunities in order for us to strengthen and to develop this partnership. Trade is the most visible one because, in some areas of the continent, but hopefully this will develop also in this region. We are developing a new generation of trade agreement that will allow not only to let's say, facilitate the exports from African countries to the EU, so to have a duty-free, quota-free access, but also to promote, let's say, and facilitate the import from the European Union, and the complementarity among these, what is exported and what is imported, is likely to play a very good role into the development of the country and the industrialization. I mean, imagine that an investor would like to come here. These days needs to pay a lot of duties, a lot of taxes, but if we go ahead with this new generation of trade agreement, that would be easier for an investor to decide to invest in an African country, because the cost of the investment will be reduced because of this trade regime.